The universe ever-expanding can seem insurmountable. In our complex, ever-changing lives, it can be hard to understand how connected we are to the universe, how everything works in it, and ultimately how we can navigate it smarter, with more wisdom and confidence, and succeed every day from understanding and living within those rules. But today, I'm going to introduce you to the man who may have figured the universe out and created the tools to drastically improve your life in living within it today. You see, this man's name was Zeno of Citium, and he was the founder of Stoicism. As he grew up, he was introduced to different philosophy literature by his father, a traveling merchant, and into his adult years studied with some of the most profound and legendary philosophers in our lifetime, including Crates of Thebes and Stilpo of Megara. By 300 BCE, Zeno had created his own school of philosophy, which rapidly caught attention and garnered more respect and rigorous training than any other school they were compared to. Zeno had 7 rules for living life on your terms, living the best life you can, and creating that unshakable, unstoppable internal strength to weather life's uncertainties each and every day. Let's get started with each of those rules here. Number 1. Live in accordance with nature. Zeno taught that living virtuously meant living in harmony with nature. In order to do this, you must begin learning how the universe and nature work and the rules by which they operate. These rules also guide and control your life as well. You will begin to align yourself to those universal rules as you find yourself weathering challenges much easier, dealing with other people in simpler and more convenient ways, and see the internal strength you're developing every day from putting Zeno's principles into action in your life. One way Zeno said you can live in accordance with nature is to live in accord with your virtues instead of for environmental things such as wealth, money, and status. By focusing on developing your character, your virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance take priority and lead your life with purpose instead of chasing and being influenced by wealth, money, and status that are outside of you and not worthwhile. Another way Zeno told us to live in accord with nature is to accept fate and circumstance that happens. In the wide range of things that can and will happen in life, the universe and everything in it is inherently chaotic. That means that it changes frequently from one extreme to another and back again with randomness. That means there is no intentional reason for one thing happening or another. As you learn to accept this and understand that life in all its elements will change from one thing to another constantly, you can begin to live comfortably within it and know that's the behavior that is to be expected at all times. It's not because everything was stacked against you, not because someone had it out for you or anything else. The natural order of the universe and all within it is chaotic and random. Zeno teaches us that it is our interpretation and reaction to our environment that completely makes or breaks our life. Number 2, virtue is the highest good. Zeno taught us that virtue is the highest good, meaning that the basis of happiness and living the best life ever consisted of a strong foundation in virtues you continually develop. The virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance influence everything in our lives, and the process of developing them each and every day strengthens us in every respect. We wake up with a stronger sense of confidence and certainty. We move through the day with certainty and understanding on how to act and proceed when needed, and when wrapping up the day, you can rest assured the day was lived correctly, in your way, on your terms, and what you feel and know is important in life. That puts you completely in control of your life, and much higher happiness levels you're experiencing now. Number 3, the unity of virtues. Zeno figured out one of the most profound and unknown elements to being successful in life and developing as a person that no one ever knew before. He learned that all virtues are connected and tied to each other. None of the virtues of humans exist on their own independently. For example, you cannot focus and work on one virtue while ignoring all others. All of the important virtues here work together, intertwined, and affect each other extensively. If you were to focus on one virtue at the exclusion of all other good virtues, you would find those other virtues would suffer drastically and even cause numerous problems to the virtue you're focusing on as well. Number 4, rationality creates success in life. Zeno, through learning from many famous philosophers, began to understand how developing rationality in life can lead to many successes and confidence in a person. In the process of developing rational action and behaviors, we aim to reduce emotional effects and emotional reactions to things happening around us. Anytime an emotion is involved, there is an extreme lack of logic and rationale in how we as humans behave. And so too, it is true in your life as well. Aim to watch for and reduce emotional effects in your mind and body due to those things happening outside of you. Emotional effects create by their very nature actions that are not logical, smart, or rational, therefore creating more problems and conflicts that were ever necessary to begin with. Number 7, below will shock you and how it's related to rational approaches here. Number 5, complete indifference to external goods. Zeno learned and taught that external goods, such as wealth, money, and social status, are neither good or bad overall. They can help you develop more virtues in life or work on other aspects listed above, but overall they have no intrinsic value in themselves or in your life. He learned and taught that external goods simply increase the complexity of one's life on many levels and drastically create artificial demands for things that don't improve our lives. He taught us that there are many important differences between what we need and what we want in life. Needs are permanent things, they do not change and will always be fulfilling to us. Wants, on the other hand, are temporary. They are fleeting and fabricated by social conditioning, relationships with others, and so on. The process of obtaining wants is a never-ending cycle of manipulation. Think about it. Remember a time when you really wanted something. What happened when you finally got it? You moved on to some other shiny, sparkly thing you really wanted now, and the process started all over again. Wants are a never-ending cycle you cannot win. Number 6, emotional resilience. Zeno learned and understood the very foundational elements to emotions. He taught that emotions can be extremely dangerous not only to our daily lives, but to just about every aspect to it as well, including our happiness, internal resolve, and decision-making ability in life. Zeno teaches us that emotions are the result of false decisions and assumptions, most times based on nothing or incorrect information we cannot prove. Emotions come in all varieties and forms, and as such they also come in all levels of intensities as well. Where at one time you would be at the peak of bliss, having a great time at a relative's birthday party and it's the best day ever, followed by the next day when something drastic happens and it brings you down into the absolute depths of despair and anxiety you feel like you can't get out of at all. Zeno teaches us to pay attention to and avoid emotions, and particularly emotional extremes, because those are the most destructive in our lives. You can begin today harnessing this important principle by thinking back the last 3 weeks. When was there a time you got emotional about something or had an emotional extreme about an event? Contemplate it and ask yourself, was that the result of a wrong decision on your part? Did you make incorrect assumptions about it? Was the information it was based on untrue or incomplete? Then begin here forward. Begin paying attention to emotional events you have and treat them the same way, the entire way, avoiding emotional extremes. Number 7, learn how meaning is created in the world. Zeno created through his writings what are called signs. These can either be natural or man-made signs. A sign in this respect is something that is meant to symbolize something either directly or through majority association. An example of a direct sign is smoke that directly indicates a fire. An indirect sign is a word or phrase that in a society has been given common meaning, such as truck. We all have a generalized accepted image and meaning of what a truck is. Zeno teaches us that signs are important in our cognition and making meaning and structure to our world around us. He says that through obtaining meaning through signs, we reach conclusions about what something means or how to interpret it. You can also use this in your daily life when things aren't going right or problems persist. Perhaps it is the sign within it that is being misinterpreted or assumed to mean something it doesn't, and as such caused you problems. This creation of signs and assigning meaning to them in human cognition also creates the basis for some of the most important standards in psychology, hypnosis, and therapy in today's world. This number also plays into and reinforces number 4 above, as a sign that has a direct or indirect accepted meaning is the first steps to becoming rational and developing smart, logical approaches to a process you're involved in. If you found the video immensely useful and able to incorporate these techniques into your life in making it better, more enjoyable, and making life work more on your terms each and every day, click below and subscribe. We love having you here. And until next video, take care, young one.